Okay. So I think we're live with our new stream. Sorry, everyone. I'm just going to try to, send out a tweet to let people know we're here. We're just in the learning phase. Okay, yeah. Nice thumbnail.
Don't know what the thumbnail is.
I don't know what the thumbnail is.
I have no idea.
I have no clue what the thumbnail is. This is William Politeski for everyone.
Oh,
okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's going. Let me just copy the link so all you guys can jump in.
James, you know, peeing like one.
This is William Politeski for everyone. Okay, yeah. Oh, there I am. Okay, echo.
Yeah, it's on that tag.
It's on that tag. Okay, and then the quality's like.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Meh.
Got.
Not the worst for my streams.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, yeah. So we're properly streaming now. I think. We're properly streaming.
And then you can just.
Okay, yeah. I see all your comments coming in now. Okay. Hello, welcome.
Working.
Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the live stream. I'm alive.
Yes.
Ted, this is William Politeski,
He's not dead.
my good friend who's coming on board helping with season 2.
That's me.
Also on the stream, if we can see him, there's Master of the Lemons.
We can't really see him, but I am present. I am.
Lemmy.
Let me not be responsive. Close that and see if it works now. How you close that?
Lemmy.
Yeah.
You here?
Yes.
Okay, we're live. Introduce yourself.
I'm Lemmy. You might have heard of me.
No one has.
Oh,
no.
Really? Oh man, that sucks. That's devastating.
Bummer, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're live. So I'm happy to announce that I'm alive and production starting again after 10 months, 8 months, whatever it was, stopping on things. And I'm happy to also say that Will and Lemmy in different ways are also going to be helping me in a big way get this through. Lemmy's coming on board, helping me write, so I'm not writing in a corner by myself alone. and also all three of us are working together on set design, because as a team, we're doing some really complicated set design for season 2, with some trying to really focus on Railway Series proper layouts. So we're all three of us together, putting our brains together, and Lemmy and I have been doing this for many years and did it for Tidmouth, but all three of us putting together to put our heads together on how to make future sets. Lemmy's helping out with some decals, especially for the first set, which is Tidmouth, and Will and I are hopefully going to be the team that puts them together and films on them.
Yep, because Lemmy, unfortunately, doesn't live near us. So
No.
That's too bad. But, I can just come over whenever I want just to help out Ted. And
I am extremely appreciative of that. The season 2 would never get done if it wasn't for these two.
I think that no stuff that I'm helping with, I feel like Ted could get done on his own, but it would just end up taking a lot longer. It just speeds up the process.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get to the comments. This is meant to be a Q&A live stream. So there's been a lot of comments so far. Unfortunately, I'm not probably going to get to any comments on the other live stream. Yeah, posted on Twitter. And let's get to some of the comments. So I'll try to start from the first. Just other than the highs from everyone.
Ted, I'm gonna pop in on my phone, and that way I can show my camera. So get ready to let me in.
Okay, great.
Let me
in.
A
lot of people saying hello, everyone. A few social distancing things. I guess Will and I's bubbles are going to overlap.
Yeah, I think they increased the amount of people looking me up wherever we live to 10. But we're
and the province is also starting to. Canada's doing better than America.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say that.
They started opening up beaches and stuff, so we're all.
Canada's. I think there was only 100 cases a day or less than that in our
and even
province.
in our area, yeah.
And there's nothing in our area, so we're getting a bit more liberal. Mike, his name is Mike. Very true. Ted and Lemmy, oh my God, this is amazing. It's nice to see you again. Very good to hear from you as well. Useful Engine 11. Wait, I thought only one person in the community was allowed to use StreamYard. That is incorrect, Taj.
Definitely not.
The three amigos. Yes, that could be correct for this. Hello, Eric. Nice to see you. Who else is on board? Lemmy. We can add him to stream. There we go.
Now I'm here.
There's Lemmy.
Visible.
Hey, Lemmy.
There we go. There we go. Ooh.
There's so many options. There's so many options.
So many. What's this? Oh.
What's that? Oh, that's
Ah!
after you're sharing your screen. At the end there.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it on this one.
Sounds
That's,
good.
that's squishy. You can get us. Anyways, let's get back to the comments. So I want to answer some comments and say hi to you guys, and then maybe do some fun stuff. I got the setup in the background. We'll scooch.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's a tight corner here.
oh
So there's some
set.
set. I think Will built it like 10 months ago. With
Yeah.
what's his
Me and Miles,
and
Percy
Miles.
6 Productions, we came up with, we built it. Yep, it's pretty fun.
So that was like August.
Make sure to just leave some comments down below about what's going on with season 2 of Ted's series.
So someone asked who's Master of the Lemons. He has his own channel. Search it. He does very good content. And believe he was the first to do a railway series type style Tidmouth Sheds
in Wooden Railway.
in Wooden Railway. Among many other great accomplishments. But I have a particularly soft spot for that one. He asked Lemmy to watch a video. Maybe not. Okay, so there was a lot of questions I saw yesterday about my series.
When is season 2 coming out?
When is season 2 coming out? Okay, so that's a good one. Thank you, Mason. Well, update on season 2. So the basics of it is Will and I this morning have been working on doing set work for season 2. We're going to make sure between the team that the sets for season 2 is something like nothing before seen in the community. Just some really, really focus on trying to go large scale, proper railway series focus. And not just also limited to 1 or 2 sets. We're really going to try to cover off a lot of the island. But because of this, it's going to lead to a longer production cycle because there's going to be 9 more episodes in season 2. And to tackle all those 9, we're going to film them all at once. So we'll build a set, film everything on those 9 scripts, and move on and on. So I can't promise. I'm hoping for an episode to come out in 2020. I can't promise that. But what I can say is when season 2 is done, there'll be an episode a month for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't promise when that starts. The goal is, for December or so. But once that could be pushed back by another 2 years because I've had many goals. But once we go, it's gonna go once a month for almost a year. And hopefully in that gap when things are releasing, I'm gonna be working on the next project. But that's a hope. I am living right now in the location where I live near Will, and we're actually filming here. One of the big reasons why things have been delayed is most of my life these past few years I haven't been living here. So that's something that's going to be really allowing production to actually happen. Let's get to some other comments. A lot of hellos. Really nice to say hello to everyone.
We're season 2.
So someone asked, "What's my thoughts on Tommy?" What even is this? I don't. Someone asked me on thoughts for something that I have never heard of.
Tommy motor. It's what Tommy trains are. Like
I know Tommy, yeah.
Yeah, but that's basically like the long, like elongated name. It's like, we call it Wooden Railway.
Okay, so the Tommy range in general.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Tommy range in general, I like it. I never grew up with it. I've never owned a piece of Tommy before, so that part of my heart isn't there. That had I'm not familiar with it.
You're not nostalgic.
It's not nostalgic, and it's just foreign to me. Like it's a foreign concept, so I'm not ever gotten into it because it's just been so on a different planet for me.
Also, I feel like the main appeal of Wooden Railway is that you can move it like yourself, like you're in control. And I feel like a lot of people who even buy motor road and rail just use them without their engines on anyway. So yeah, I think that I definitely like Wooden Railway more just because a lot more interactive.
And the other thing is when I started watching videos in the community, I watched 1 or 2 Tommy videos, 1 or 2 Tommy users, I should say. I can't remember its name, but it starts with Percy, one of the bigger ones.
Percy Engine 619.
Thank you. Yes, Percy Engine and Sidekick Jason, and Diesel D199. But I watched only a few of those videos. The videos I really got into were in the Wooden Range or with HO. which brought me eventually to do videos in wooden because I already had wooden trains. All right, let's move on to the next question. Will you be introducing more new series characters? The answer to that is no. Spoiler alert, but no. I have changed in general my viewpoints on things, but I think it was an interesting idea to try to utilize the concept of characters in the new series and bring them into the Railway series universe with its own unique identities on them. But I think that era of my episodes is done. That was a very season 1 type theme.
You saying that answers this question. Will you include American characters like Rosie and Hank?
No.
Hello,
Annie. Nice to see you. You are very awesome as well.
Did you ever actually include any new series characters? I feel like you
What? Let me.
Season 7.
Pardon?
I think you capped at season 7. Did you ever include anyone past season 7?
Yeah.
No, but I had plans to. If you really go, the one question I saw yesterday, which I might as well answer now because it links into that question, is yesterday I saw someone ask, what's the status of 100 Years in the Making? So for a while, I said I was going to do 100 Years in the Making Part 2, and then I decided to do season 2 first. Like, this was like way back in the day. So the 100 Years in the Making Part 2 is postponed indefinitely, if not canceled. If anything, I'm going to cannibalize the concept of 100 Years in the Making into a different concept set in the same time era, but it's not going to be under the title 100 Years in the Making.
Mm-hmm.
So, but speaking of 100 Years in the Making Part 2, I did have plans, as you can find out if you look into the deep depths of the Oliver Duck Wiki, which is something that has not been updated since 2014. Accurately, to retrofit some past season 7 era characters into some existing engines that would have been on the island at the time.
All right. So I assume this means seasons, but how many series will there be?
Just 2. So one thing that is true about Tales of the Northwestern Railway has been true since the start date. It was a 2-season setup. One thing that some people know is that my series has been long. It's like a turtle. It's slow and steady. But the concept has been solid. I've stuck to the roots. I've just improved everything, particularly the stylistics of the series. But in terms of the plot and stories, you can go into my channel, go back to 2013. You can find a layout episode for a canceled episode. And it's the exact same layout as episode 11 has. You can see spoilers for the series, but you can see George and Edward talk to each other in the scrapyard. You can see Farquhar. You can see Edward and Thomas talk at Knapford. Like everything that's in, yeah, and you see the strange train. Everything that's in that episode 11, I built a set video in 2013 when I filmed the initial draft of it. Like, my series has been a slow and steady thing, which I've always been slowly getting out there. So it's a 2-series run. After 2, I am very interested in other projects, and I might do one-off projects that aren't incorporated in a movie or series, but are kind of one-off episodes which are homeless from a series. But Tales of the Northwestern Railways is a 20-episode run with 2 series, and that's going to cap it.
All right, so this question ties in pretty well to that. So this person says, what will you do after the seasons end?
Okay, so I'm being somewhat tight-lipped to this, and my foot's asleep. So I'm just waggling my foot now. But I'm being somewhat tight-lipped on this, as one would be. I have 3 projects. I'm not going to go talk about those projects at all, but I have 3 projects that I'm considering. 2 of them a movie and 1 a series. And I'm not going to do any specifications or any promises to you guys. But the draft plan in my head right now is if we get season 2 done in 2020 and it comes out over the first 9 months from December onwards, in that period of time, those 9 months, to work on these 2 movies and have them out for July and August next year, and then start up a new series after that. But that is a very ambitious plan that will most likely not happen, and don't ever count on it happening. Like me, I will most likely cancel my things and push it off another 2 years.
Yeah.
So come with that as your expectation, but that's the draft plan in my
Are we
head.
answering those questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Both questions, not just season 2 ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
like
So,
ask anything.
top 5 race series.
Oh, that's a good one.
Enterprising
That's a good one. I agree. That's definitely in the top 5.
Donald Douglas?
I agree. Yeah, that's again. This isn't confirmed, but I'm considering doing a full book remake of that book.
What about 4 Little
But
Engines?
I'm considering a lot of projects.
What about Four Little Engines?
I don't know. I like.
No.
I need. I'm very bad remembering what stories are in what books.
I like
especially for narrow gauge.
very old engine. Cross Patch.
Is Four Little Engines the one with Gold Engine and Scarlet Remembers? Which one has those two stories?
Yes, that is it. I think.
Okay, so Four Little Engines is definitely up there.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to when you're introducing the concept of the Scarlet Railway not to be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Enterprising Engines is definitely like 2. I really like
James and the Diesel Engine. That's the Christopher one.
Yeah, that might be in the top 10, but not in the top 5.
Okay.
I really like what was it? What was the one with Wrong Road? What book
Branch
was that?
Line Engines.
Branch Line Engines. That's very high up on my list.
Boco and
That's
That's a very high up on my list. There's a few. I don't have a list prepared in my head before this, so
I like a lot of I always liked a lot of the Christopher ones, like Thomas and the Twins. That's a good one I've always liked. I don't know.
Lemmy, do you have any thoughts you want to add?
I think for a long
top
time,
5 Christopher. I mean, not Christopher.
I think the easy answer is like Enterprising Engines, but I think I've thought about this a long time, and I think my favorite now is definitely Mainline Engines. That one I really love for just the kind of it's got a lot of, I think in a lot of ways it's more different from the show than a lot
Lemmy's
of it's like got a lot of very distinct differences.
Yeah.
And it's like the stories are so different when you put them in the right order and when you add the necessary context. It has way more gravity than it does in the show, and it's got a lot of really great Gordon and Edward Loco moments. So
I think the show suffers from that a lot. Just like Henry and the Elephant, they put like way too far after, and like Thomas meets the Queen,
Henry
stuff
and
like
the
that.
Elephant wasn't
I love that book as well. That book's probably in my second or third spot. It's very high up there.
Right.
Let's get Taj's question next. Yeah. So we're a bit behind on the questions. You guys have really done a good job asking. Will you create new characters to advance certain storylines, potentially utilizing adapted models of new series characters? So we kind of answered that one already mostly. We're not going to adapt any new series characters into the series anymore. That's a closed book. But there will be new characters that haven't featured yet. In terms of like
OCs.
There's going to be new, I don't want to say too much, characters that haven't been included in the storylines yet appearing.
I don't even know.
I haven't even told Will anything about the plot yet. It's Lemmy who knows.
Oh, yeah. All right. Here we go. What is the worst TWR item from the 90s? So, like one of the older Monroe items.
Ooh.
Hey, ready? Right here.
That's Will's hot take.
This one sucks.
He's not very good.
Sorry. Space is too small. Space is ugly. Colors are wrong. Literally all of them are. It should be like way more.
I don't know if this is sinful or not. I think I might say the earlier Knapford Express coaches, especially like the one that's white all over. That that just does not. When I was younger and I'd go to a friend's house, that one. Like, I have an appreciation for it now, but when I was younger, I would go to my friend's house and see his wooden railway collection. And I thought that was like I thought that was like a subway car or something. I had no notion that was
an express coach. Talked about that. Like, this looks a lot more accurate to the ones in the show. Yeah, this looks like something that'd be on like a bullet train.
It doesn't feel
it looks really.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah, this looks a lot more accurate, I would say.
Yeah.
I think this one's kind of obvious, but I would say Percy and Henry, just because Percy's proportions are bad, and I want him to be smaller, I would say. And then
I can't really say that about the main cast.
Henry's boiler, I want him to be bigger.
Like, I agree with it objectively, but looking at them, it's just they're too dear to my heart.
Yeah, I just think I would be totally okay with them just them changing it so Henry has like a big, like the same size boiler as Gordon. I feel like that would just look so much better.
What year did the aquarium cars come out? Because if they came out in the 90s, they're the worst. I got them somewhere, but they're hidden away from my childhood.
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't know when
I thought
they came out.
They were the only big vans that we had. Like,
yeah. Here we go. Yeah, but they're good for custom making, so there's a good discussion. What models did you use for Railway Series? Annie and Clarabelle. Well, Ted.
Well,
Tell them about your obsession.
yeah, I got a bit of an obsession, guys. So here's the models in question. I need to do touch-ups here and there, take them around a bit and knock them up a bit. So I need to repaint the roofs a little bit. But there's my Railway Series Annie and Clarabelle. I used
The camera is so good quality. Oh my god.
thank you. I just hope the pixelage is more than you. So I used Orbium coaches. So I have many custom things that are in the shape of a coach. Likely it is Orbium coaches. You can get 3 of them for $10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I have like 25 of them.
If you can see, these are the exact same shape.
Which, well, you can see here is Isabel and Dulcie,
Also the same
which
shape.
is this kind of I cut those faces off of
But
it
on the
corners.
back there, you can tell that they're all just
They're
made
all
up,
the same coach.
made up the same coach. Yeah.
And even my custom express coaches that I made up. It's
Ted has a problem.
I have a problem. I think I have about 16 made up into customs, and I either between what's in transit or here I have 25 total, and the plan is to make about 23 of them into custom. Yeah, I think that's what good for that one.
All right, there you go.
What are your thoughts on Thomas and Friends Wood? I dislike it. I have a model just for kicks.
You ready?
Just to remember how much. No, I don't know. That will.
Sorry.
But it's okay. I got Thomas from Thomas and Friends Wood just to remember how much I hate it and to look at it on occasion. And also, I think the original one's going to get rare pretty quick because no one bought them.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, like some people are coming out and saying they like this new Toby. I don't know what Will's and Lemmy opinions are on this new Toby. But the thing that's their main flaw, which I really hate about post Roy Wilson Wooden Railway, is they're trying to make 2D things look 3D. Like, you see on the top of Thomas's dome, instead of having a dome, they have like a circle for the dome.
Yeah.
And they're just horrible at that, and they're horrible at making that look proper. Like the old Wooden Railway, there was a charm to it that if something was 3D, they put it in 3D or they didn't try. And that's something I really appreciated about the old Wooden Railway.
I would agree with that. I'd say that I do like the new Toby though, because I think like it's a bit weird that they kind of he's a little bit off balance because they got rid of the like they shrunk the roof, but then they didn't shrink the cow catchers, which they really couldn't. If they'd made the body bigger, it would be better than the Wooden Railway one, honestly. Because I think Toby does look closer to the way he looks in the show. If you don't give him that big,
I
never cared for the big, huge, extended Wooden Railway roofs on coaches and on Toby and Henrietta and all those characters. It's like I think it looks better when it's just kind of tapered wood. But if they had made it wider so it actually matched the cow catchers, I would say that Toby's better than the Wooden Railway Toby. It does have that thing that you're talking about, Ted, but it's small enough on Toby that I can kind of ignore it. Whereas, like, on a lot of other engines, like if it's on Thomas, it's just upsetting that the dome is like, it's supposed to be very obvious and tall, and it's not present at all from the side. So on that, it's really kind of gross.
Like I definitely think the Toby model had some good improvements, but it still just doesn't cut it for me. There's something when I look at it, I just can't
It's
accept
Railway
it.
Series accurate though. It's flipped around. The deep on the roof was flipped around. The funnel was on the wrong end. So he has 2 faces, guys. Wow.
Yeah. All right. Worst Railway Series story. From Christopher's era. Ooh. There's a lot of stuff in Christopher area, which I think Christopher. If Audrey was a 10 out of 10, Christopher was a 7 out of 10. Where there was a lot of stuff I liked in Christopher's era, but he just completely failed in certain areas. I don't think it's a single story. The thing that hurts me the most about Christopher's era is how he kind of gave up trying to explain how Sodor existed in the world. The thing that I loved about the Reverend's era is you could believe it existed. And Christopher's era started to give on reality and starting to move towards fantasy. Where I like to think what I'm doing with my series is really trying to say how Sodor can exist.
It kind of stopped.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of stopped trying to justify it. Like Christopher's era tried to. I don't think that Christopher saw it as a priority to justify how a railway like Sodor could exist in the modern era. It was more focused about telling these cozy little stories on Sodor rather than kind of explaining how it fit into the greater framework of our reality. What kills me about the Christopher era is it introduced a lot of really big, deep concepts, but spent barely any time exploring them. Like it explored the idea of James just being just a bitter racist towards diesels, far beyond all the other engines. It introduced Gordon being taken off the Express. It introduced Thomas going to York was done very well. I did like that a lot. I do love Christopher's books, but I think that there are a lot of moments that he does not explore with the depth that they could really deserve. Where Wilbert would take an idea and make a whole book about it, Christopher would make a bunch of unrelated small stories that didn't have a lot of gravity when there's a great concept sitting right in front of him.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
I think that, like, for example, like in, like Thomas and the Great Railway Show or the Railway Show or whatever, like just having the book after that, Thomas Comes Home, I just thought was kind of redundant. Like it was just like kind of silly. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Like there was just a
too. I mean, I think a lot of that book was good, just not really what it sounded like.
yeah. There's a lot. It was like a tramway engine, but two.
So it's hard to put a finger, Taj, on the exact story, but the whole Christopher era started to feel flat longer it went on. There were some really golden ones in it, like James and the Diesel Engine. But as the series got later in dates, it just fell flat. And Ivo Hugh, the Skarloey Railway episode was strong in it. The books for the Skarloey Railway, but a lot of the mainline ones started to feel flat. All right.
What editing software do you use?
What editing software? I'm going to hit this off with Camtasia Studios. Our Flying Scotsman brought this to the community in like 2014, and it spread like wildfire and stopped. For a time, like half the community used it, but I think Will and I are two of the only ones left, mostly because I already paid for it.
James uses it, I think. Matt knows as well. I think uses it.
Yeah, so it's used still by a lot of people. What happened to Josh? Are you talking about Jay Louvier? I honestly do not know. Okay, I'm going to take this one. Have they made any new customs? Yes. There's going to be, I'll flash them on screen quickly, but there's going to be a showcase video eventually on them. I finished the Arsdale Railway. So this is the debut. I haven't put this on Twitter yet even. But I have a jock.
Put my face back. He got handrails. He got a tender. He got that dome.
It's a jock.
You got the firebox. Guys, the face is so off Egbert. It's like an Egbert.
The face is Egbert's face. It's not even a joke. This was Egbert's face. I put on this. Egbert has a face which is much more fitting. In fact, two of them.
What? Oh my God.
Egbert's face now. But so that's the one I'll leak for today. But I finished the Arsdale Railway, long and short of it. I guess I'll flash one or two others quickly. So the Sigrid here, a little Sigrid, double-faced. And I've done the rest of the Arsdale Railway. If you want to see more in detail on that, look on Twitter. And there'll be custom videos soon. When I say soon, I mean within 12 months. Putting projects off and canceling them is my culture, man. I get that. Let's try to get this because I'm really far behind. I'm going to try to go quickly. Let's get Ryan Trons.
Yeah, Ryan.
Ooh, there. Characters you regret introducing or not? Oh, that's a great question. Introducing. Let's talk about Salty for a second. So Salty, the full backstory on that is that I filmed season 1 in my basement family room, the original draft, and my dad really loved Salty, and he was sitting on the couch behind me when I was filming the initial season, and so he was like, "Where's the Dockside Diesel, Ted? You need the Dockside Diesel." I kept on trying to tell him he wasn't in the Railway series, and it wouldn't work to have in my series right now, but he was very persistent. So literally, episode 2 came from my dad badgering me about where's Salty.
Oh my God.
And that's the true story about where "What's Your Name" came from. I made it up on the spot when my dad was badgering me where salty. And so it really made it hard for timeline reasons. Because of when episode 2 is meant to take place and it's connected with the announcement Stop had made at the beginning of season 1. So that one caused me a bit of a headache from a timeline perspective, trying to just hammer that into the timeline. I don't regret introducing him as a character, but it's just been a headache from a timeline perspective. I think I made it work, but just barely.
So you would, if you could go back and just not have him, you would.
If I would go back, I wouldn't make episode 2 as episode 2. I would make it after, because at the beginning of season 1, Sir Topham Hatt announces there's going to be a fleet of new engines arriving over the next few months and years, and Salty was the first one. So to justify that, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because that's meant to be in like the 70s, and Salty's meant to be somewhat experienced by then, which is hard to do with his class.
Yeah.
So it was hard when it's much more kind of the 90s would have worked much better timeline-wise for that episode.
Yeah.
So anyways.
What about not introducing? Are there any characters that like...
No.
No? Because you got that down.
In general, I kind of went towards less adapting.
Yeah, we called
TV
it branch
series.
line engines, but I meant mainline engines earlier.
Yeah, and that's what I meant to say. Mainline engines is
James
definitely. Yeah, James pointed it.
How do you make Railway Series Bocos wheel configuration?
How do I make Railway Series Boco wheel configuration? So this one's funny. I just hammered it in. I just forced it, brute force.
Because Ted was filming a video outside in the winter, and the tar tanker that he left out in a water bucket got completely destroyed, and he just kind of used it as parts, and the wheels came off of that, so he just wedged them in between the wheels so he can be a Kobo. And
Indeed.
that's them. It works.
It's somehow it works. I am very miraculous. Like, it's not held in by glue or anything. It's just held by like mechanical clamping force from the existing wheels, and everything still works somehow. Like, the wheels don't turn; they just glide, but it still runs okay.
Yeah, but the back wheels can turn. So
The back wheels turn.
totally
Yeah.
works.
So it is what it is. It's pretty cool and funny. But there's the Railway Series Boco.
Yeah, scratch everything you just said. It happened because he grew up from a Boko tree, and
Yeah,
it just
And
happened.
that was the
naturally.
magical Railway Series Boco, which
It
was
just happened naturally.
the one that told me that I needed to go redeem Rob and the White Face arc.
Go watch his mic review.
The mic review is something.
When is your 5-year anniversary? Like, has it passed?
Yeah, that's why my mic review is my 5-year.
Yeah, but when was that?
That was like 3 years ago.
No.
Oh, what time of year?
Yeah.
I have no clue. I don't know what my anniversary was. I looked it up for that.
Yeah.
Is the TVS in? I'm gonna just click this. There we go. In the TV is Harbor from Percy Takes the Plunge and Wrong Road Brendam or knapford. So in the TV series, I honestly don't know in the TV series, but I'll answer from the Railway series. The harbor from Percy Takes the Plunge is Knapford Harbor, and the harbor from Wrong Road is Brendam. In the TV series, I cannot answer.
No idea. It switches every season.
It switches every season. But if you want to know from a Railway series perspective, Percy Takes the Plunge is Knapford because after a period of time they stopped using it, and the harbor and Wrong Road is Brendam because he went down Edward branch line.
What I find
And Brendam's
interesting
at the end. And that's why Bill and Ben were there in Wrong
Percy
Road.
Takes the Plunge and Special Attraction in the Railway series are at the exact same harbor. And the show this is a good example of how the show approaches this. Is that they really like those sets look nothing alike. There's like no attempt to make them similar. They really just move everything around, based on what they want to do at any given moment. But in the Railway series, it's supposed to be that's Knapford Harbor. That's the end of Percy's harbor line, and so that's why he's there both times.
It's so inconsistent though, because then like they'll be using it as like one harbor, and then you'll see like Bill and Ben at the same harbor with like Boko, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this is why I just don't watch the TV series anymore because I just can't. I can't spend my mental energy trying to justify everything like Lemmy does.
Also,
well, Ted, I'm not justifying much anymore these days.
Fair, used to do. I'll correct that. Did when I first met him.
Also, you'll be hitting your 8-year anniversary in this August.
Okay. I probably won't do anything. I'll do something for 10.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
8 years. Congrats.
Thank you, Will. Thank you. What's some tips for making reviews videos for
Answer
YouTube?
this. I'm gonna be back.
Okay, Will's disappearing underneath the table. I'm going to take Will's seat. Haha. So, what are some tips for making review videos from YouTube? I'm thinking of making some reviews over the summer. So with reviews, make sure you care about the item. Make sure you have a personal story to tell about the item. Make sure you, like, I would recommend going back and look at a channel like Donald Douglas. Made videos in like 2014 or so. So some of the classic reviewers that really knew how to review an item, even if their reviews were 3 minutes long. Because at the core of the reviews, you still got to talk about the item. You still got to talk about the main core features of it. You still got to talk about what you like and don't like. And you have to be able to compare it to items that came before and after. In terms of making the skit portion, just be funny. Be yourself. Like, I'm a bit more out there on my skit portions of my videos. Like, you can know me as the crazy guy who dresses up as Topham Hat or throws things in the air or stuff like that. It's just be yourself to some degree. Just have some fun and joke around. Maybe a bit more out there than your normal self. This is more my normal self, just kind of talking, being boring. But just have some fun. All right. So Shrine Time, even though I'm trying to get another comment up. So even though Shrine Time 2020 is canceled, are you guys going to do a meetup like in 2019? The border's closed, and it's probably going to be closed for all of the summer, is what I've heard. So, like, Will and I aren't leaving Canada. So that's our problem. Like, I don't know what country you're in, Flying Scotsman Productions, but if you're in Canada, there's a chance. But other than that, I'm not going to be seeing you this summer. If the border gets extended to closure, like we think it's going to be. Like Will and I are meeting up now, so that's a meetup. And there's probably going to be similar meetups to Will and I meeting up constantly. So, this question is funny. I'm going to answer this question. So, do everyone hate you after you did the white face? So, I'm assuming that's more after you got the white faces. I'm going to interpret that. Did everyone hate you after you got the 2 white faces for $5? So go back 2014. How it came out to the community that I actually had these 2 white face troublesome trucks. I was in a Skype call. I got them kind of in a hilarious way. I was at a yard sale. I just started collecting. I wanted trucks. I didn't know about the white face when I bought them, really. I just saw them. They were cheap because they're at a yard sale. And I just bought them. And then I was casually in a Skype call with the old user that's gone now, BertramFan01. He used to make some really great videos. William was his name. Used to be a middle-sized user back in up to 2014, 15 type of time. Anyways, but he just kind of freaked out in a Skype call and said I should talk about it and post it everywhere. And I'm like, what? They're just items. And he was like, dude, you don't even know. And then it was kind of just became an ongoing joke. And there's people like Eleanor Flying Scotsman, Roberto, who started joking about it. And it was a constant joke. Everyone was saying like, I'm going to come to Canada and steal your white faces, Ted. But that's just some of the classic times back in the day. So TWS asked, what's my favorite steam locomotive type? So in terms of Canadian locomotives, and I think this is my favorite of all locomotives, is the Royal Hudson class, which here's a Brio model of the Royal Hudsons. It's not quite the real thing. It's quite a beautiful locomotive, and one in steam. I've never seen one in steam, but it's a sight to behold, and it's something that I personally find just completely elegant from the 1930s era of luxury in Canada. The same way that the Pacifics and A4s were the kind of the height of luxury in the United Kingdom, and without similar classes, this and 1 or 2 other classes, the Canadian National Railway were the height of luxury in steam locomotives in Canada in the 1930s.
It's just
and that one just has.
It's just so interesting, Ted, that it's like your favorite locomotives cannot even be in Britain. And yet that's where all your creative pursuits are is with British locomotives. I mean, it says a lot about the way that you approach these things.
It's
like what you're focusing on is really not the engines in what you make. I mean, it's always the island.
Yeah, that's a very true point, Lemmy. It's everything I'm focusing on is really the island around it, not the engines. And I care a little bit about the engines, enough to try to work hard on my customs, but not enough to spend another year to make my ideal engines for the next year of production on.
Yeah.
So, but it's true. My favorite engines are actually the Canadian Grand engines from the 1930s.
Would you say that you know more about like American, I guess Canadian engines than you do British?
I would say I know more about Canadian engines than I do British.
Interesting.
Is that William? This is William. Oliver Ducks looks like he's going to kill us.
I hope not, because I'm going to be the one dying. Oh, no.
All right. I just see a question here about making a different ideal engine. I was just kind of talking about that. I'm not planning on making ideal engines. About the size differences between the engines. Like, I'm not going to spend my time waiting to make ideals for all my normal engines aren't how I prefer things. And if I'm going to the bother of making it custom, like how I went through the bother of making Jock, I'm going to make it something I like to look at.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it better than the Wooden Railway made it. Would have made it if they made a Jock. And same thing with Burt and Rex, but I'm not going to go through the bother of making ideal engines for everything because it would delay things by a year, which it's not a fair trade-off for me.
But Wooden Railway, Edward, if you're asking if anyone has made else have both made small Tobies they were seen in our Christmas things. So.
Yes, Will does a lot of great ideal engines. He's made a good slew of them from James to Percy to Toby and more. So Will's much more that alley than I am. And who knows? I haven't finalized exactly what I'm going to be using from here on out. So all the doors are open.
Expect the unexpected, everyone. Character do you like the best?
Character do I like the best? Character do you like the best?
I don't know.
Well, Oliver Duck is kind of have a preference and bias there. Originally it was Oliver. Back in 2012, I had like a very big fixation on Oliver. Like originally my channel name, I wanted it to be Oliver267. So my studio name, if what you see at the beginning of all my videos is Oliver267 Studios and my Twitter because I wanted to be called Oliver267 because I liked Oliver. And then I had to put two characters, so I made Oliver Duck. But really, my fixation on Oliver ended after episode 3 because I was able to get what I found very interesting in the character out expressed in an episode. So there was less there that kept me extremely interested in the guy.
So is he not your favorite character right now?
I really don't know who's my favorite character.
Is it Willie's Tractor?
I think it might have. Yeah, Willie's Tractor is definitely high up there. And here's William's Tractor. Here's William's Willie's Tractor that he gave me, as featured in episode 11.
God.
It was kind of funny. He didn't tell me he was going to give it to me until he did. I was filming the last shot for episode 11 when he gave it to me. And I just like grabbed it and threw it on the set.
Yeah, it's just like the only thing in the back of Knapford.
Only my Knapford was cheating. I needed to get that episode done. And I didn't want to make all of Knapford. So I just made the station platforms. But I put that behind the station platforms. What camera do I use? So I use a Canon.
Use a camera.
I use a camera, yeah. So right now I'm using a web camera. But my normal camera, it's in the other room. But it's a Canon D6. There was a good display at it on the the Shining Time. You can see it on Enterprising's live stream a bit. But it's a Canon D6, and I use a Vanguard Pro tripod with that. And it's an expensive camera. I saved up for a while to be able to afford it. But I used to use a lower quality Canon, which was much less expensive. And the problem with those cameras is you can't get low to the ground. Like you can make a great series with just a high quality iPhone camera, and that's all you need. If you get a new iPhone or even an old iPhone, the camera's great enough to make as good quality episodes. So you don't have to get the expensive stuff. And a lot of times I regret having the Canon. And sometimes if I had a better iPhone, I might use that more for filming. because you can actually get the great low to the ground shots.
Yeah, I think that filming with a phone is like completely fine, but I think that the editing is like I can never find a good editing software to use on my phone, so I always had to find one on a computer. But yeah, I think that filming on your phone is definitely a good alternative.
So Dukefan01 asks if I'm going to do another collection video. I might do kind of like, I'm not going to do a full collection video, but I might do all my customs, because there's a lot of customs I'm not bothered doing a showcase video for. And I probably wouldn't do it right now. I'd probably do it in a few months from now after season 2 when I'm all the Skarloey Railway things. But after I've done everything, I might do kind of a all my customs video to show all my customs. And honestly, my collection is now is like 25% customs at this point of the collection I care about. Like the custom percentage is slowly increasing.
And what he means by collection he cares about is he has a bin of stuff he just doesn't like.
Yeah, I literally have a bin of stuff that I don't like. I just forget I have.
It just sits there.
It does just sit there. Wooden Railway Edward asked, would I film outside? So I consider doing that. I've done that in the past, and there might be some outdoor clips in episode or in season 2, but there might not be. I filmed 3 or 4 shots outdoors for season 2 already, but I might axe those. Like, I'm really liking what I can do inside in a set. The outdoor shot has to be perfect for me to take an outdoor shot. Nothing I do is going to be completely outdoors, but I also don't like the jarring differences between indoors and outdoors. So I don't know. That's something I haven't decided 100%, but right now I'm leaning to 100% indoors.
Yeah.
What's your thought? I've already answered that one. Thanks, Andy, for the compliments. We're finally catching up from like half an hour
Sure,
ago.
I just want to answer this one for a second.
Yeah.
No, sorry, one about
this
that.
one.
I'm sorry. Wooden Railway Edward says, thoughts on P.S. I Hate You by Matt. Haven't seen it yet. Ted and I are actually planning on watching a lot of Enterprising series and catching up on that because that's what he needs to do.
No spoilers on what we're working on, but Will and I spent the whole morning working on stuff outside, and now that stuff shifted inside, and there's a TV behind where we're working on stuff. Mm-hmm. So for after this live stream, we're going to just spend the rest of the afternoon working on stuff and catching up on Enterprising and Train King James' series when we're done. Yeah. Or as we're working on stuff. So
yeah, I've seen most of season 3 except the episode that it has been or is going to be released today. That TT's.
I think it was just released. I think because we asked James to tell them that we were going to be a bit late, and he was saying that they were all
talking about a series.
Yeah, so. And so I can't wait to get caught up in the series. Mm-hmm. Hello, Matt. It is good to see Hero the Japanese Train in the chat. He is a good Matt. Can you give away what can you give away about season 2? That's an interesting question because it's really open ended.
Like a little tease.
It's a tease. It's can I tease anything? So I guess one thing I will say is that I looked at my analytics and it seems that 3/4 of the people who watched episode 11 didn't see the after credits scene. So if you watched episode 11 and you haven't seen the after credits scene, I would recommend watching it.
Yeah, definitely.
And that sets up things. And what I'll say about episode 11 is that there was choices and consequences. You saw a choice that Sir Topham Hatt made. The consequences are the rest of the season. So I'm not really telling much about the future, but I'm telling you more about episode 11. Things that aren't maybe so apparent on the surface, which are meant to set up for everyone the rest of the series. So it's really what was the choice that Sir Topham had made, what are the consequences that are going to happen from it, and what was that post-credit scene, and how does that involve with that? So that's all I'll say.
Thanks, Easy, for the question.
Yeah, thanks, Easy.
Someone said Salty is funny.
Salty is funny.
What a great character.
Her name's not Sigrid, Ted. It's Sigrid of Arsdale. So please say the full name for the full effect.
Sigrid of Arsdale.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. He's happy now. Glad we're people pleasers.
Taj says every Thomas fan's father loves Salty. That could be true. Question. Let's see Matt's question. OC character you'll be most likely to introduce in your series. We kind of skirted around that one in the past, so I've been on record of saying, I'll pull this guy up again. There was a custom video I made back a few years ago of someone that it's hard to define what is an OC, but where did I put it? Oh, there it is.
I put it there, sorry.
No, that's fine. There's a custom I made a few years ago with a custom video that I said is going to be in my series. I literally don't want to say more than that, but I'll show it. So it's likely that this engine will have a role in a few episodes, but I don't want to say more than that at all. I've done very minor modifications. I thought the side rails were a bit too high on it before, so I've lowered them down a little bit. So it's less atrocious.
If you want to just, he has a video on it on his channel.
I got a video on it, but the stuff I built up on the edge was way too high before, so I lowered that down a lot.
You did?
Yeah, I lowered it down like by half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it's much like less scary. Yeah, I'm happy with the tender. The tender worked out well.
Yeah, the tender made off of Frida.
Made out of Frida.
Where's Frida's front? Probably in the. I don't care.
It's in the scrap bin. Yeah,
I don't care.
It's in like let's cut up like Ari and Bert to make a blister twin spin.
Oh, God! So
Neil.
If you want
Neil.
That's a Lemmy's famous line. Just screaming Neil over and over. Yeah, if you want to make blister twins, use a Frida.
Yes.
That's what I use.
A Frida for blister twins, indeed.
Boco or Bear?
All right. Boko or Bear? Where's that? There. Okay, yeah, there's some good questions in this area. Boko or Bear? Oh, that's a really good question. I like Boko because he was developed more. Bear, they're both very interesting characters, I find. I find that I think their friendship between them is also something I really love to explore. The friendship between the two diesels on the Northwestern Railway.
I really like the James and Diesel engine. I like Boko is like showing around and like I like how the line where it's like the next day like they have to like smooth ruffled feelings the entire time. Like that's just so funny that like they have like even though the steam engines are like being like advertently like racist towards them, like they're like the ones that are like, you know. It's I don't know. They just hate diesels, but they're the ones that have to like, make them feel better at the end of it. I like that. I also think that Boko. I think that Boko. I'd like that he's like kind of aggressive. Like even though like he can get pretty annoyed like easily like out of things, but like he's also like really approachable and like good to talk to. And I don't think like, but he's also blunt. I don't know. I think he puts things like I think Edward's like soft spoken and knows what to say, but I think Boko will just be like tell him to him pretty hard sometimes. But I like how Bear was portrayed. You guys haven't seen in James's series. He did a cool job on Bear.
I think the long and short of it is that Boko's character was really fleshed out by Wilbert Audrey, while Bear was mostly fleshed out by Christopher, and that might have made him suffer. I think Lemmy, you're muted.
Lemmy, I can't hear you at all. I see you're talking, but.
I still can't hear you. I'll just keep trying, Lemmy. I'll let you know when you can speak.
When you can.
When you can. We have not disabled you. Oh, he's gone. Okay.
Invite him
we'll invite him back when he comes in. But let's keep going. So, Boko tree seeds. Can I give you Boko tree seeds? No.
Oh, they're talking about
none
Boko
left.
trees in here. Oh my gosh. Whoa, what is this? Do you think hold on. Let's see this. Do you think in the show they should have introduced Bear, Pip, Emma rather than the logging locos and Charlie and Billy? No.
Yeah, so with Sharon Miller, I wouldn't want her to touch these characters. So if he was a verbatim, do you want those characters by Sharon Miller or do you want these characters? I prefer Sharon Miller to go on her own way, create characters herself.
I also don't mind. Like I know Ted doesn't like. I don't know how you feel about them, but I don't mind. Like I like. The long locos are iffy, but I like Charlie and Billy. I think they're nice. I like them.
Yeah, it's.
I've considered putting Billy in my series, not Charlie, because I think that Charlie. I don't know if that's been confirmed or yet, but I think that Charlie was literally just made because they wanted another character. Like we're gonna use Billy, but they're like we need more because more money. So
yeah, Lemmy, you're in now.
I can hear you as well.
Very good.
Good.
Someone asked about. What question spawned a conversation about Charlie, Billy, and the logging locos?
Oh yeah, I can't believe we took this one without you. It's like almost an insult to you, Lenny.
Yeah, they said what? It's really difficult to answer.
Like, the fact that you leave and we start talking.
I just walked back in on a logging locos conversation. What was the question?
The person asked if they think in the show they should have introduced Bear, Pip, and Emma rather than the logging locos Charlie and Billy, which is really weird to say because
I think I can understand Pip and Emma instead of Connor and Caitlin. But really, Bear, Pip, and Emma have very little to do with the logging locos.
Yeah, like Thomas goes to an island off the coast of Sodor and finds Bear, Pip, and Emma.
Yeah, like the long and short of how I answer this question, Lemmy, is that the answer is no, because those characters were brought in mostly under Sharon Miller's era. And I don't want Sharon Miller.
I feel like
I would like
during the Day of the Diesels era. For me, I think I could see him being handled properly.
If it was during David Bennett when he was directing, I could see him handling properly. But with Sharon Miller as the head writer, I would prefer her to create engines that she actually liked and wanted to do, rather than to be shoehorned into using someone else's.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because she seems like a very much a street.
She used Diesel 10, and I think that she did a really good job with him. So I could maybe see if she used Bear similarly to how she used Paxton, where he's essentially this he's caught between two worlds and he wants to make the Diesels happy, but he's on the steam engine side. Like that concept was present. I feel like they maybe could have made that work. But Bear is very interesting because he's one of the only characters that the Railway series did not flesh out properly, I think. It's he really needed a book. It's weird that Bear never got a book, because if he just got one, I think we would know enough about him that we could use him more adequately. But it's very much up to us, a lot of who he is, because we've seen so little of him. Mainline Engines is kind of bocos.
Yeah, I don't think that Bear never even got I definitely think Bear should have got his own book.
Yes. Well, that was missing. The Reverend, I just realized this recently, properly understood it. But the Reverend really loved introducing a new character to see how the existing characters reacted.
Yeah.
And then would spend a different book focusing on that new character, how they change the dynamics.
True, isn't it?
And that was a model which was tried, tested, and proven. And that would kind of fell apart during the transition, because Bear was really, if he continued, we had Oliver the Great Western Engine, but we never had Bear the Heimlich.
That's yeah.
And that's something that I feel is missing a bit. Not that I have any good ideas how to fill that gap.
It just would have been interesting to see what he would have done.
Yeah.
Also, Percy number 6 is here.
Yes, hello, Percy number 6. I'm just showing off these comments here quickly for a joke that Hero of the Japanese Train said. And no one knows, we had a trade in 2014 where I bought many things. We'll go on for maybe another 10 minutes or so. We'll try to catch up with the comments. But in 2014, Hero of the Japanese Train traded with me a big lot in exchange for a white face and a small lot.
See, they're right here is when I got back. We're very far back.
Oh God, yeah. Let's move it. Let's just try to see if there's anything really interesting.
Yeah.
What's your honest opinion on Fergus? Do you like? Yeah, let's end. What's your honest opinion on Fergus? Do you like him? If not, do you think he could improve? Question for everyone. So, I didn't ever like his. Lemmy might disagree with me on this, and Will might disagree with me on this. But I was never too much of a fan of his TV series persona. He felt too much like a little kid, which maybe when he was younger, I could see that.
I would say the opposite. I think Fergus is a grumpy old man who's been in the same industry for 70 years, and it's changed around him, and he's not willing to accept that change. So he's being very stubborn about all the rules that were
I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with Fergus. I don't think I'm going to use him.
Yeah, for me, I've just kind of introduced him as something else. I don't know. I don't have too much developed thoughts on that question.
This one is cool.
This one's cool. Will's going to be my question selector. Any tip on making a great story about... Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to say no because I want to save them for myself.
A great story about what?
The question is, do you have any tip on making a great story about the Skarloey Railway?
Oof.
So you have to really nail the characters. There is a lot I have ideas on the Skarloey Railway on. There's going to be roughly 2 episodes in season 2 on the Skarloey Railway, And one of the 3 projects that I mentioned but didn't describe at all is involving the Scarlet Railway.
I don't know anything about this, so this can't be a spoiler. But I think that Ted, what his episode that he already released on Ivo Q was good because like you get to know a bit more about Ivo Q.
Yeah.
Like
I'll just say this. I'll openly say this. So what was going back to what we were just saying about me introducing a character, see how it changes the dynamic, and then the second book about those characters. What I'm doing in my series is I have 3 episodes that either star or involve Ivo Q, 1 in season 1 and 2 in season 2. And that's really because the next logical progression I see for the Scarlet Railway is an Ivo Q book. And I'm kind of doing that between these different episodes.
nice.
But it's really see where do you think there's a gap, where there's a story you want to be told, and know who the characters are, know how they work together, know the dynamics with each other. Understanding each of the character dynamics is the essential way to make a good story about any area. And it's just throwing a variable that changes things up to get a good story.
Eric also said, "How's the heat where we're at right now?"
It's medium. Like we were working outside this morning. It was medium, not the worst, not the best.
Oh, we're not answering that. That's about the Royal Engine. Ted hasn't seen it, and he's not going to see it.
I haven't seen anything since JBS, except for like a few clips here and there. I think I watched half of Big World, Big Adventure, but I literally fell asleep. Like I literally just couldn't. Let's just motor.
I'm just going through to see
Let's
if
just
any
motor.
ones. Oh, here, this is just a funny throwback. But the Troublesome Breakman brothers still trying to kill Bill.
Classic fan there. No.
They've
no.
retired.
They've retired. They've retired into being a part of the Flying Kipper. And Billy is retired to not being on Sodor.
Oh, this is a funny question. This is a good question for Lemmy. Here we go. How do you think Robert or Christopher would have executed a concept as weird as Misty Island if hypothetically they had to?
Oh, that's a perfect one for Lemmy.
I think that's a good question for me and Ted. Because I think that because Ted and I have had a lot of conversations about the least painful way he could imagine Misty Island being done. There's never a good way. If I had to imagine it, I would firstly say maybe if it's allowed to not put it on a separate island, I think that makes it a lot more feasible. Like if there was a separate logging railway somewhere on Sodor, then as long as it was somewhere that made sense geographically, that could be believable. But if it has to be on an island, then I think it would be an island in the same sense that Sodor is an island relative to England. Like there would be a fairly narrow channel where it's close enough that you can make a reasonably sized bridge. So Misty Island, and maybe it's like a bridge that's kind of run down and does feel like it hasn't been used in a while, but ultimately it's like Misty Island isn't like 5 miles away from the shore. It's like really close by. It's just kind of in an isolated part of the island that you wouldn't really go to usually. That's what I think that they would probably do. It's like it's an island geographically, but it's not literally out in the middle of nowhere. It's more like it's nearby a shore on Sodor that you wouldn't usually visit. Maybe it's off the coast of Normanby or something. It's like that sort of thing where it's like just it's somewhere along there.
That would make a lot more sense. It wouldn't be so tall floating all the way off.
Yeah, I think that's how it would have to be handled in that situation.
I agree with that a lot.
We caught up. So favorite theme.
Ooh, favorite theme.
Because Ted makes music.
Can I say one that I made that's original? No, I'm just kidding. Favorite theme that I made. The Scarlet Railway theme is hard to ignore. It's a very good theme. The Flying Kipper theme, Diesel theme has a just
I love Diesel
stunning,
theme.
chilling to the bone evilness about it.
Yeah,
Duck has just such a graceful theme that you feel like you're floating on a cloud.
Yeah, I also like Stepney's kind of bouncy but bold theme. Like it's like really like
Stepney's up there, but it's not my. If I had to put tops, it would be Starlowy, Diesel, and Duck.
This is so biased, but I would say James. I really like James.
James is good, but I guess what I was looking for was something that wasn't just
like translates onto the character, but then also beyond that.
Not even that. What I was looking to just from a pure musical perspective. You can do something which is like big and loud and exciting and fast and have it be a good theme. But there's an art to making emotion through the music. And I get a lot more emotion through the Starlowy theme, the Duck theme, than I do the James theme. Other than it's like, it's here we are, we're in a theme, it's cool, it's good.
Yeah,
I
the
think
duck one is
Duck
for like
would be
people. I would feel.
Duck would be one of my favorites, I think, because it's like I like how it matches him, where it's like it's got a very just the I don't know how you describe it, but just kind of the tempo of that song, just kind of the beat of it. It's very distinct and it's very orderly and it's very like it's kind of like it's like it's keeping time the whole time, you know. So I can very much see that kind of playing as Duck goes about his work. It's very orderly and very just the way he thinks is how I feel when listening to that theme. And I think they did a really good job with a lot of those songs. I think that it's interesting because I think you can tell how well they understand each character based on what the theme is. Like say with Edward, they understand that he's kind and they understand that he is, you know, dedicated and a hard worker, but they don't really understand a lot of the other deeper nuances. So there's nothing about the theme that implies, like, it wouldn't be a very good thinking or pondering theme, even though that might fit Edward better if there was like some sort of thinking theme. Instead, it's more like a cheerful Edward's exploit, he's coming home theme. And Henry's theme is beautiful, but firstly, it's at first it just starts out sad, which that's the only thing I knew about him. And after his rebuild, they really didn't know what to do with him. So he's like, his theme is just kind of this general grand. It has the same feeling as the Island song. It's beautiful, it's grand, but it doesn't really say anything about him. Gordon's theme is like very distinct. It's like grand. There's like trumpets playing. It's like they know exactly who he is. James,
Yeah, I think I tend to
swagger,
prefer the
but
themes
they know him.
that like translate onto characters more.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, guys. So there's 4 more minutes before I want to close off the stream. I given us an extra 10 minutes than I promised, but I want to rapid fire a few questions here. So, opinion on original season 3 episodes. You guys don't get a comment on this. I hated them.
wait, what do you mean? Original season 3?
So season 3 that they wrote original, not in the Railway series.
What? I don't know what that means. I'm confused.
So ones that written and
Okay.
ones that were written original for season 3.
What about that one episode, Ted, that you very convinced takes place in, what is it, the goods station on the line?
The Dryog Goods Depot.
Yeah,
I don't want to get into that one. Yeah, that one was okay. But what they did with Stephanie in season 4 hurt, and a lot of the stuff original in season 3 hurt.
Diesel does it again.
Speaking, quick comment on Vince Sensei's new movie. I am excited for it. I talked to him about it last year a bit, and I was going to help him shoot some of it during the meetup last year, but I wasn't able to, or he wasn't able to. Anyways, did I watch Scarlet Railway All 1 stuff? Yes, I did.
And I've watched Thomas 100 to Henry 3 stuff as well.
Hello, Lego lover. It's nice to see you on the stream. By the way, I meant to say character gallery. I didn't want to capture gallery. Where the heck is wrong with me?
Here, I want to see this one. Ready?
Which one?
Oh,
which one?
It's more down. It's more down.
What episode's worth the classic series? My least favorite one in the classic series is the one Stephanie comes to the island because of Rusty. It's really free. I'm gonna just skip a few. Okay, so there's a Lemmy only question, which I'll let you answer, Lemmy. How successful was the Tug Community Archive? You're muted again.
Oh, he's on the.
He's muted again. Use the dead. The mic is dead. So he'll fix that problem and he'll answer that
Let's
question.
ask you this one.
Have you guys watched Heart of Gold? Yes, I did watch Heart of Gold, Eric. I watched that a few years ago. It is very good. I was convinced for a little bit. One of the people in the yards, the guy kind of just trying to push the truck past a switch and it falls backwards, was the Reverend for a while. I am no longer convinced. But,
what is your favorite custom that you've made?
Well, I made it last night, and Jock is pretty good.
That's good.
I made this boy literally last night, and I like it. So this.
All right, Lemmy's back.
Am I
How successful was the Community Archive?
All right, so
yeah,
I wouldn't put it in the past tense. I haven't checked it in a week or two. However, we've been very. When I established that, I knew it would be a slow process of collecting stuff. And we've slowly but steadily been gaining more and more stuff over time. So it has been successful. It's been growing at the slow rate that I imagined it would be. We've gotten we've got some annual scans. I don't think I've uploaded them yet because I don't have the full annual yet. I did upload. There's a few tugs. There's a tugs buzz book. There are TC at tugs replica gave a lot of pictures from Star Tugs Trust events that were really good. So generally, we're getting a lot of good stuff. Just slowly. Not to plug it, but if anyone is in a position to donate anything in terms of photos or scans or anything like that, then it's always appreciated, because slowly but steadily the archive is growing, and hopefully it will be pretty useful in the future once it's to like a decent size. It may be a few years, but eventually it'll be bigger, I think.
All right, moving on. I want to try to catch up to the bottom, so let's try to rapid fire. What's your favorite video you guys have ever made? Let's go 3 sentences each. For me, it's episode 11, just best quality episode I've made so far.
I think that my most recent video, the Christmas one I made, is the best, just because that's kind of what I've been planning on doing for a while.
I watched that one last night. It's really good.
You did?
Yeah,
thank you.
Good.
But
Watch.
Now that I have been able to actually achieve what I've been wanting to do, I'm happy, and hopefully I can go ahead with that style. Lemmy, what's your favorite video that you've ever made?
I guess it's weird because it's so old, but probably my 3rd episode of my series, the Super Rescue adaptation. I think that's what turned out the best out of everything. So I quite like that.
That was 4th.
I agree with you, Lemmy. That's my favorite of your series by far.
I like Old Souls.
Old Souls is also very good.
Maybe my second favorite.
Lemmy series is very
good.
Thoughts on the 2 Henry theory?
Differing opinions on this one in the room, but it is. There's 2 Henrys. That's it.
I don't. No. This is where the metaphor breaks down for you, Ted. This is a point where it's like you don't have a clear answer to it, and every time we talk about it, you're kind of like, oh well, and we don't.
There's 2 Henrys that transfer consciousness. What they did was they moved the one part they reused was the smoke box door, and so you transfer that, you're good.
Ted. Thank you. Good idea. That's where the brain of the train is, isn't it?
Use your noggin, boy. They used the Henry smokebox door. They just moved it over.
Oh my gosh.
Rule 55. You can't do it.
No.
Billy
or Charlie? Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. Can you give...
Maybe Billy.
Oh, here's a question. The answer is no. I can answer this for Lemmy. But Lemmy, can you give context to Space Train?
No context.
No context. I refuse. I haven't even given context to James yet. He's been begging me for years. But it's it's a project that is now several years old, and I don't know if I'm going to reapproach. So I really don't feel like talking about it because it's just kind of old news at this point. But there's a lot of people who have no idea what that was even about. So I just kind of sit back and laugh as they don't know what the hell that's about. That's why I put it in the video. But yeah.
Okay, wait, I have a quick answer.
So just quickly getting through stuff. I don't own any adventures. I already talked about Wood, Toby, and Edward earlier up. Then there's How Tall Are You 3.
This a lot shorter. We're standing up right now.
Yeah, we're standing up, definitely.
So really small.
You've seen the other pictures, right? Will's a short boy.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah,
just tiny.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm stunned. My growth has been stunted.
Yeah, Will's not 3 feet taller than me or something. Someone asked Will, how's the remake coming along?
It's good. Roman's gonna beat me, he says, but click on this, please. Let me laugh. Ryan said, "Why, in response to your favorite video, why not Doncaster Pride?" Do you remember that?
Yeah. You just retroactively named my first episode Doncaster. It's called Pacifics. The episode is called Pacifics, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan,
Pride. How does someone just manufacture that? Just that's such a clever title. but that came out of you just pulled it out of nowhere. Oh my God.
Definitely not it. Do you guys drink Baja Blast? Yeah.
I used to. I haven't had it since meetup season.
Why does Will suck? James, that's mean. Don't do that.
So Roman asked when I'm going to end the stream. When I catch up, I'm literally going to end it when I catch up to all the questions. Why does Will suck? We just answer that. Whether realistically be more seasons of your series after 2. I kind of already mentioned that, but Tales of Northwestern Railways, 2 seasons. After 2 seasons is done. Might make some one-off episodes, but not within the context of Tales of Northwestern Railways. And there's going to be other projects, just not under that banner.
Will Will ever reveal his secret white face? Yeah, this is mine.
Yeah, it's right there.
Got my white
And that.
and this
And
this
that.
face right here.
2 comments left, boys. 3 now. Oh, God.
Oh, then keep going. Stop.
Okay, I'm going to stop after Matt's. Yeah, where it is now. Yeah, Matt's. So, who should rather come back, Stephanie or Albert? Asking Lemmy.
Isn't Albert like the mid-Sodor?
No,
And-
Albert's the engine that's on the Furnace Railway for like one flashback story. That Edward never even met.
Wait,
Very
isn't he
bizarre.
scrapped though? Wouldn't he be scrapped?
Who was the first character?
Stepney.
Stephanie.
Easily Stepney. So firstly, come back. Albert never even came to Sodor in the first place. He was literally only in that one flashback. So he's really a very minor character. Stepney's like an icon of steam preservation, so he's monumentally more important.
And he's been to Sodor and he knows the engines. Like,
So Stephanie's the answer for all of us. All right. Railway series, Donald and Douglas, or Thomas and Friends, Donald and Douglas. I honestly haven't watched too much of the Thomas Friends, Donald and Douglas, and they're similar.
They argue.
Railway series.
They argue a lot.
I think it's simplified in the TV series, their relationship.
In terms of character, they're terrible. They're like they're like brothers that bicker. They like act like they're 7.
They're like
really
Bill and Ben.
Yeah, they're like
All right,
Bill and Ben. And
I absolutely love Railway series, Donald and Douglas. And if I have to choose between Donald and Douglas, because I saw that once or twice, I picked Douglas. I think him escaping to the island is an interesting arc. And he has that development with Oliver. So he's just a bit more developed than Donald. So
And Toad.
And Toad. So what's opinion on magic in your series? Non-existent.
In like a series. Like people
In a series, right. Okay, so for me, it doesn't exist. If someone else wants to have an AU where they have magic, it's really, do you get me immersed in your series as an alternative world? Or are you trying to claim that you're in the real world?
Like, for example, Enterprising has Proteus and he's magical in his series. And like I think he handles that pretty well.
Yeah. Like the thing with magic for me personally, if you clearly say that this isn't the real world and you're not trying to immerse me in real life, I can open my mind to it. If you do, then I can't. All right, 3 questions and we're ending it now. Just the last 3. What's your 2 more? Dan Castor Prize, the real episode title. Lemmy, you don't know it yet. Waiting for it. Go get on Disney Plus.
Funny story. We share a Disney Plus account.
All 3 of us actually.
Yep.
We all 3 of us share a Disney Plus account.
Yeah, Ted let me on the account the other day because I'm my thing right now.
Our names are Yoda Ted,
William
Polzeski, and with Mike Wazowski, and then Lemater.
Yeah. So he's Yoda. I'm Mike Wazowski, and
he's Mater.
Ted is very clever at sounding.
Yeah, my one. It was mine originally. So my one condition with letting them use the account was that I had to name them. All right, last question. Why does Will rule?
Says Matt. Thank you, Matt. James was being really rude earlier. I don't like James.
Oh, geez. We almost got up to the bottom. There was like 3 left at a time. Now there's 100.
Right up there.
All right, we're breaking the rules. Murdoch or Gordon? Murdoch and Gordon, episode 6.
Shameless. Gordon, sorry, Matt.
You have to eliminate one. Murdoch.
Kill
Dead.
him. Here, where's
Murdoch? Just Will, throw it against the wall. Just chuck it somewhere.
It depends on what respect of Murdoch and Gordon. It's like, which one do you
No.
like?
Doesn't depend on anything.
No, kill him. He's dead.
He's already scrapped.
He's gone.
Yep. No more Murdoch.
Murdoch's out of the series.
Bye bye.
Alternative ending to Murdoch and Gordon.
Yep, Murdoch just dies, and that's it.
All right, with that, everyone, I would like to bring this live stream towards a close. I think this has been a good update to let you guys know that I'm alive and things are going, and a good introduction to how Will and Lemmy are coming on board the team to push forward season 2, so it happens within the next lifetime. I can promise you it will happen within the next lifetime. As opposed to when in that lifetime, I cannot say. That is all my promise.
Could be tomorrow, could be 20 years.
Yes,
don't know.
exactly. We don't know. It's going to be roulette. I might get it done and then wait another 20 years to upload it. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
It's the way to go.
it's good to introduce these guys properly to the team. They've both been contributing before this, but this is a proper big contributing confirmation time, and it's going to be good. It's if you want updates from me other than videos, I have a Twitter. Search me on Twitter, OliverDuckTed. And you can see updates from my custom models, my sets, or just chat about anything else. With that, that's kind of the end. Do you guys have anything you want to say?
Thanks for having me, Ted.
Yes, thank you
And,
for having me.
Lemmy, you gonna come over after the live stream's done?
Yeah, you're gonna come over, Lemmy?
Yeah, of course.
Like, what if it's revealed that Lemmy actually lives next to
I
you?
was waiting until the live stream was over, naturally.
Yes. He's gonna walk over. It's gonna take 2
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, no, but it'll be worth it.
All the way from California. Well, thank you all for tuning in.
Yep, gave you guys an extra 20 minutes, so hope you enjoyed. See ya.
Broadcast.
End the broad. That button.
Yep. Goodbye.
That